Hello, sports fans. Welcome to another edition of VetsPlusSports.com. I'm your host, Terrell Cool Beans Davis, along with my co host, Mr. James Miller.
Hello, everybody. How's everyone doing this evening? Hope everyone's doing well. We're getting ready to jump in a little bit on the NBA playoffs, but before we get started, Cool Beans is going to do a shout out to our listeners.
I'd like to give a shout out to our listeners over there in Brussels, Belgium. Thanks for listening. And I learned this. I said I was going to learn this city in Germany is Grin. I just had it. Grinzak Willen. Weilen. I'm getting close. Grinzak Weilen is what I think it is. And then we have San Jose, California, Boardman, Washington, and Ashburn, Virginia. Thanks for watching.
Thank everyone for watching and listening. We're going to get into last night. You had game 4 of the NBA playoffs, but we're going to speak a little bit about game 3 because that was after the last time we had spoke on audio,
Right.
and that was in Boston. And that was in
That was
Dallas.
Dallas, yeah.
Dallas and Boston won 106-99. Dallas blew at game 3. They were there and had to lead for a second, but the thing was Luka fouled out. He committed 2 not smart fouls. He lost his composure. You could tell they got to him. He got mad, and they were in the ball game. It was a ball game then, and he made 2 stupid fouls. And foul 5 that was useless, and then 6 definitely, and he fouled out with like 2 minutes left in the ball game, which could have been the deciding factor because it was in a couple points in, or may have had the lead, or they was I think within 2 or 3 points when that happened.
Right.
But that cost them game 3, which if you look at this game 3, you had Jaylen Brown with 30 points, and then you had Tatum had 31, and then White 16. But that game there, they gave it away. Dallas gave it away. And then last night, end up going. Let me back up here and mention Dallas in that. That was Boston. But in that game 3, Luka had 27 points, and Kyrie had 35. But Luka was only 11 of 27 from the field, and then Kyrie was 13 of 28. So they didn't have the best shooting as far as that goes. They had more shots and more points.
Right.
They shot actually 44 from the field and 87% from the foul line. They were 14 of 16 from the foul line. But
That's
then
better.
that is better. And then you get to last night, which to me, you and I talked about the brooms coming out because I did not think by watching, I didn't think Dallas was going to win last night. And they won pretty easily 122-84, and Boston was never really in that game from the get-go.
Right. Yeah, they were not. It was, I think they went down at halftime. They had like only 35 points, and it was like the lowest points they have scored all season.
It was. And what I noticed about that game when I was watching it, and then the announcer said the exact same thing that I caught on, Boston got away from their game plan on offense. If you notice the 3 previous games, even leading into that tournament before the finals, they passed the ball around. It was like people were getting 4 or 5 people were getting touches before they would shoot. Well, that game last night, it was one pass and shoot, one pass and shoot. and it was like that was not their rhythm. It was they was out of sync. It was out of rhythm, and
Right.
they wasn't shooting very well last night either. But and there was just all kinds of stuff that Boston they got away from their game plan.
Right.
Instead of making Kyrie go to his left, they was letting him go to his right, and that made a
Right.
huge difference there.
I also thought of something last night, but it goes back between game three and game last night's game, game four. Uh, Something's going on with Boston's lineup. They're hiding something because in game three they had Hauser got in, Pritchard got in for the first time. He didn't play. Neither one of these people played in game one and two. And like I said, he's extended the rotation because last night they also, other than Hauser and Pritchard, both was playing. Uh, Tillman was playing. These are guys we haven't seen all during these playoffs. We have not seen them.
No, it hadn't. And uh, watching, like I said, watching that game, I don't know. I don't know if they got lax. I mean, just got relaxed or what, or if the players from Boston's like, let's win this back at home or something. I don't know. Um, but I don't know what happened. They got out of sync. They got out of their game plan. And but I mean, as far as Boston side, there was not much to talk about really. And the thing is, you talk about the bench. Joe Mazzulla, he cleared the bench. Um, Except Porzingis, but watch, I think he's hurt
Yeah.
again. So everybody played off of the bench, which a whole fourth quarter was nothing but the bench anyway, because
Hmm.
that ball game was over. But Luka in this game ended up with 29 points and only played 3 quarters. Kyrie had 21, and Luka was 12 of 26 from the field, which is a little bit better than what he did the game before. And then Kyrie was 10 of 18, and then the rest of it just came from the bench. The bench came alive. You had Hardaway, which he got a lot of his points in the fourth quarter coming off the bench. Powell, and then a lot of them, they was in double figures. And then Lively, he had, um, I said Powell, wasn't Powell. It was, let's see here. That was Lively. It had the double figures. He had 11 points. And then, but Dallas took them out of that game quick.
Yeah. They by halftime it was like I think they had like a 30-point lead at halftime.
They did. And the thing was, it was like they couldn't, they couldn't overcome that. And two, also, man, Luca and them was getting their alley oop passes that they didn't in
Yep.
game one and game two. Um, and to me, what I've seen of the NBA since I've been a little boy watching, I don't know if there's been a better passer than Luca when it comes to the alley oop. I
Hmm.
mean, you're talking about a half court pass, sometimes a little further in half court. It's like, I mean, he's dead on with that pass. And sometimes you think, well, he just threw that ball away, and
Yeah.
it's
Exactly.
right there. But he did better, and everything. He uh, he got the team involved. He didn't get in foul trouble, and so we'll see what happens coming game five. Like you and I talked about with game five, I think Dallas may pull it off in Boston.
I think they will too. I'm wondering. It'd be funny. I swear to goodness, it'd be funny if Boston will be the first team to ever go up three and then lose it because it's never happened in the NBA.
It's never
But
happened. I don't think I'm ready to call it yet.
I'm not ready to call it either. But I'm just saying it's got to happen sometime. One of these somebody's gonna give it up. But
Somebody. I don't. I would tell you, I would be shocked if it would happen in this series. I'd be
I
very
would
shocked
definitely be shocked. But I
because
tell you what, if it does happen, it is time to break up that dynamic duo between Tatum and Jalen Brown. One of them got to go.
I don't know about that.
If
That's
they
it.
can't pull it, they up 3-0 right now. Well, 3-1 now. If they can't pull that off, then they got to go.
It'd be. I would say it would probably be the biggest meltdown in NBA history.
Oh, it would.
Um, but I mean, Boston's bench. I mean, they're just too deep, man. I don't see that happening. I can see Dallas pulling it off. I mean, pulling off Game 5 in Boston. But it's going to be. We'll see what happens. Dallas is going to have to come out and play like they did last night. But if you look at Game 2, Dallas should have won Game 2 in Boston.
Right.
Um, so that was the game. What that the game that Luca had them turnovers, didn't shoot the foul shots.
Didn't shoot his foul shots, and he had all those turnovers. That was the game the announcer said in the first quarter. If Dallas won the first quarter, they was 8-1, and they ended up being turned out to be 8-2 now.
So realistically, Dallas could have won Game 2 and Game 3.
Yep.
And if Luca's been the man for Dallas, but then too, in some of them losses, it's just like he turned the ball over. He didn't shoot well from the foul line in Game 2, and in Game 3, he lost his composure.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've seen, which I didn't watch him all season, but during the playoffs, that's the first time I've seen Luca lose his composure like that. And I mean, he just made some silly fouls.
Yeah,
But
I agree with that one.
but we'll see what happens out of Game 5. That's coming, I think, Monday, if I'm not mistaken.
Monday should be like 8:30, I believe. I can't remember if it's 8 or 8:30, but it is Monday.
Monday.
Game 5.
Yep, it's Monday at 8:30. We'll find out then. And there's something we want to mention. Since we're at the NBA, and Jerry West passed away the other day, the NBA legend and West Virginia legend.
Yep.
Last time we was talking, we mentioned about some pro athletes coming from West Virginia and how it don't turn out a whole lot. But I'd say Jerry West is probably the biggest professional athlete that's came out of West Virginia,
I will say
and
that.
he's around this local area. So I mean, he was, I think, 86 is what he was.
86.
I didn't know he was that old, but
I know, he
he,
didn't look it.
he didn't look it. No, he didn't look it. But he was big around here. He played for West Virginia. And then for around here, people don't know, there's a photo it's circling around, and it has been for a year. It was in high school when he was playing, and I think it was a championship game, or it was the playoffs in high school, and they got a picture of a stare down of him and another player, and they was getting ready to jump the ball. So yeah, that's pretty neat to see and everything. But for West Virginia, he's a big hero, and he helped a lot of people out. That's like if you hear Joe Mazzulla, he played for West Virginia,
Yes,
and
he did.
and y'all can go hear it there on ESPN when they asked him about Jerry West, and Jerry West contacted him a couple times through his career. So that's how Jerry West was. He was trying to be a mentor even to people, basketball players with WVU, and even after that, those going in the NBA.
Right.
He'd like to see young people succeed and do well. But that was sad to see. But he has passed, and the NBA is going to be missing a wonderful guy.
Yeah, missing a legend.
And did you know he was the one? I seen a thing there. It was going. I can't remember I want to say 95, 90. I think at 96. Larry Bird was the one. I mean, Larry Bird. Jerry West was the one who drafted Kobe that year,
Yeah, he did.
and then signed Shaquille O'Neal
Yep.
the same year. And they said probably one of the best duos ever in the NBA, and Jerry West got them two together.
Yeah, he did.
So, but yeah, he's going to be missed, and especially in that Lakers organization and everything. he's been a big key of that organization for years and some other, other places, but he'll be missed.
He will. And before we transition to the next sport, I just want to mention, like, for those that want to help support the channel, we have our buy us a coffee. You can go ahead and donate by buying us a coffee. This way, like I said, we do this for strictly just for fun right now. It's just pretty much a hobby. But as we grow, we can get better. We can have more things to do. I mean, like there's things like we have work to do. So some of the editing that we need to get done, we don't get done. Need better sets, better things. And if you'd like to see that and like help us grow, you can support the channel by buying us a coffee.
All right, moving on. You're going to get over here to the women's NBA. I think you wanted to mention a few things on it. Yeah.
Yep, I did want to mention because everything the news is always Caitlin Clark, Caitlin Clark. I got one bit of news that came in that was not Caitlin Clark, but it's not a real big milestone, but it's a milestone, so we're gonna go ahead and call it out. Angel Reese is the first out of the 2024 draft class for the women's NBA. She's the first rookie with to get to 100 points and 100 rebounds. Now Caitlin's passed the points, but she don't have the rebounds.
I mean, you don't expect,
You don't expect that actually from a guard, but
but no, not from
Reese
a
is a
guard.
forward. She's supposed to be up there getting the
That's right.
boards.
She should be getting them boards and helping the team. And I'm trying to bring up some scores here with the Fever, if I could get to it.
Right. And actually, the Liberty played. Who did the Liberty play? The Aces today. We got a couple of Olympians on the Aces team. You got Kelsey Plum. I can't remember Aja's last name. I want to say it's Brown, but it's probably not that. I can't remember.
And there's controversies being over where they left
Caitlin off the team.
off the team. And, and to me, I look at it, I mean, all right, yes, she's a rookie, but they're talking about it from a money standpoint. And they said that they wasn't into the marketing. But, I mean, when has a professional athlete, a professional sport not been into marketing?
Right, exactly. Now,
But,
technically, they are doing whatever they can trying to clean it up, and they've been sloppy doing it. If they wanted to actually, because I was looking at the roster of everybody on that team, if they wanted to actually clear it up and try to, like put it to bed without anybody questioning their decisions, they
mhm,
should have said, "Well, we don't have any rookies on the squad because they don't have any rookies on that squad."
no, they don't. And they could have mentioned that. And everything. But to me, I don't see it a real big deal. As they're putting some of it out, but
Hmm.
she's a rookie. Um, yes, she started out good, but she's going to have plenty of opportunities to be able to get play for Team USA.
Especially if this squad fails. In 4 years, they might be saying, "Hey, we made a mistake 4 years ago. Come save us."
But I think they'll be all right. The women's basketball team, even if she's on the roster or not right now,
Hmm.
surely they got some. They should be competing and with it. So we'll see what happens with that. And I'm trying to bring up a game that it's not wanting to come up here. It was the Fever when their last game they just won. Um, it was right here Thursday, I think it was. There it is. I'll
Yeah, I think it is Thursday. I
get the
remember.
box score up because I mentioned this to you.
Yep.
Um, the thing was, which we talked about it before with Indiana. Yes, you got Caitlin Clark and everything was being I mean, it was all about her, the big dues and everything.
Hmm.
But I think they were putting too much on her shoulders. I mean, early. Um, but and then you look at this game here where they beat Atlanta, and Caitlin Clark only had 7 points. She was 3 of 11 shooting, but you got they got more points from the starting lineup. You had Boston who she had 27 points. She was 12 of 21 shooting. Then Mitchell had 24 points, 7 of 14 shooting.
Not
And
bad.
so, and then let me see here. I don't mean, and then you had some help off the bench with 11 points. And so you had more people contributing, getting points.
Right.
Let me see. And Caitlin she had 6 assists in that game. But being a point guard, I mean, you're directing the offense. And you're supposed to get that help. That way you can get the ball into the open people to get points or whatever. But I think if they put a little more, let a little more of the other players pitch in, get some help, I think they'll be doing all right.
I think they will too.
Because Caitlin she still get her points no matter what.
Right.
But let me get back to there's I think 2 games tonight, ain't there? Or today, this evening, or I keep forgetting that we are.
I only remember the
Okay, they were
one
Friday.
earlier for the Aces and the Liberty.
Liberty and Aces. Liberty won 90-82, and then you had the Suns beating the Wings 85-67. So that was the 2 games that were today, and with that, I'll bring that up with Liberty and Aces.
Hmm.
I'll bring up some stats here, if it allow me.
That's one thing that needs to happen in the WNBA. One of the things that I remember going from, if you remember how the basketball games were back in the late 80s, early 90s, with the when the Detroit Pistons were pretty much the boss. They were running things, and the game scores was going like if you played, you'd have like, let's say, Chicago and Detroit played, and Detroit may have won. It'd be probably like 84-92. But a lot of those games back in the late 80s, early 90s, the score was under 100. And one of the things the NBA said they needed to do to get more fans, more attendance, they wanted to see them games get them scores in the hundreds. They wanted 30-point scores. That's the one thing they want. That's what the women's NBA needs to do.
And if you notice now, um, even in the playoffs, a lot of them games hit 100 um, compared to what was back in the 90s. I seen one statistic here today. I think it was a game 6. I can't remember what year it was. If I tell you, I could be wrong. I don't know if it was 96, 97. Michael Jordan in a game 6 final had 45 points, and the team only scored 80 some. They won like 87-86, and he had like over half of the team's points. That was the first time ever that an NBA player had had half of the team's points in a win.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, and them games, I remember them games being in the 80s and 90s back years ago. But like you said, they wanted to move uh, all that. They get more points. People want to see more scores and everything else, and so that has changed with the NBA.
Right. That's pretty much with all sports. It changed for the NFL, and this is why I think they really got rid of the hip tackle. Because if you can't tackle those guys, it's going to be like the scoring is just going to keep going up,
It
and
is.
they want those scoring games.
They like those high scoring games and everything else. So, and that's with any sport. That's what they want to see. They want the NFL. They want to see either in college too, high powered offenses. If you remember, I don't know, it was when years ago. I don't know. I can't remember what year it was. It's when West Virginia joined the Big 12, That year they joined the Big 12. Geno Smith, and so, he was a quarterback for West Virginia.
Hmm.
Nobody in the Big 12 that year had a defense. Nobody. I mean, you was talking there were scores in the 60s, 70s. West Virginia won one game like 70-63 or something like that. I think that was Baylor.
Right.
And I mean, it was high power offense. There was no defense, even with Oklahoma and all of them and Texas. So you knew there was going to be a high scoring game and stuff. And I think Geno threw for 4,000 yards that year, but
Right.
it was just all about offense.
It sure was. It's like those are the games that make money. Even though we like when we played football, all we heard was defense wins games. Defense wins games. Yeah, but offense brings in the money. It's just like no. When you have a game when it goes, they win. It's like 7-3. That game is boring. Nobody wants to watch that.
No, nobody wants to watch that. But as a coach standpoint, you want that defense to get you them chips.
Yeah.
The coach, all he's matter is winning and getting them chips. But as a businessman outside, everybody wants to see that, wants that money to come in. Everybody wants to see that offense.
Hmm.
That's where it's at today. I want to mention a little bit. That's it with the women's NBA there. With college baseball this weekend being the weekend for the College World Series and everything. Right now in NC State and Kentucky played today. It went final in 10 innings. Kentucky winning 5-4, and that's a double elimination game. And then right now you got Florida playing Texas A&M. That game has not started because it's in a delay, I guess a weather delay. So that game hasn't started yet. Um, and let's see what they had Friday here. And Friday games, you had Florida State and Tennessee playing. Florida State was 8 seed and Tennessee was a 1 seed. Tennessee won 12-11.
Oh, that's close.
And then, you know, um, you had North Carolina, which West Virginia lost to them in the Super Regionals, playing Virginia, and North Carolina being the 4 seed beat Virginia being the 12 seed 3-2. And that was the start, as that's a double elimination as well with that bracket starting out. And that's just starting this weekend to set up for the College World Series.
Right.
And let's see what we got here with.
But
Let's
now, out of what you just said, which game do you think was the most exciting? The one that had 12-11 or 2-3?
Well, as a fan standpoint, you know how a fan is. He likes to see offense at 12-11.
Yeah.
Um, you see those 3-2 or in 1-0 wins, and fans. I mean, they like to see those runs scored.
Hmm.
They like to see those high games and everything else. So, and I'm with one of those fans. You remember it wasn't too long ago? Man, I don't know how many years ago. It was before they done the playoff system in the, college football.
Okay.
You had Alabama and LSU playing the last game of the season in the SEC championship, I think it was. And if I'm not mistaken, that game was a 6-3 game or a 9-6 game. It was all field goals.
Right.
Okay, both of them were 1-2 in the country, and they kept them together in the national title game, which I agreed with. That was your two best teams in the country, and it was like a boxing match, throwing haymakers. Nobody got in the end zone. It was all about the kickers that day. Now, as a fan standpoint, they didn't like seeing that. They liked to
They
get
sure
got the
did.
win, being Alabama, but they want to see, and both of those teams had defenses, so it was a defensive teams. And
Hmm.
but once again, everybody wants to see that offense. They want to see high scoring games. So let's see what we got going on here. But All right, moving, I guess, right along. I think that's about it.
Well, it's not about it. We gotta. It's time to lock the brooms back up. Every time we break out the rooms, thinking it's gonna be a sweep or something, the other team just decides to want to show up.
Edmonton's up 4-1, ain't they?
Yep. And it's just the second period, right? Second period.
Yeah,
They got one more after this.
uh, yeah, we can lock them brooms up. We was bringing. I tell you, after that game 3 in the NBA Finals, I already brought the brooms out. It's over.
Exactly.
It's over. But like you said at the start of the playoffs in the NBA playoffs, um, don't count Luca out. And but try not to get back to the NBA. We done talked about that. But this Edmonton, they're 4-1. They're trying to keep from getting
Oh, it's
swept.
now 5-1.
5-1 now. Okay.
Now 5-1. I just watched the goal go through while you was talking. It was like he just scored the goal. 5-1 now.
5-1.
I
So
don't see no comeback on this one with Florida.
no, not at all. So since we're here, you want to go ahead and start talking about some hockey?
We can go ahead and talk about the hockey because that was the main thing. We was game 4. We was waiting for the showdown and thought it was gonna be a sweep. I was gonna see right here. I had this empty space. Well, no, it's actually right over here. The empty space. I'm different. It's the wrong side on the camera. I was gonna have my broom sitting right here, but I said, nah, I don't want to put that prop there. A good thing.
Yep, it's 5-1. Well, they still got a lot of time, and it's in the second. 13 minutes and 6 seconds. What's showing here?
I know, but it would be horrible if Edmonton just let them back. I'm looking at right now. They up 4 points. I'm thinking it's pretty much gone. But
We'll we'll see what happens there. I mean, and then the Panthers, man, they've been looking sharp.
they
Uh,
were. Yep.
at game 3. Now, here's the thing: game 3, if I'm not mistaken, they were up on the Oilers 4-1 at the end of the second period, and then the Oilers made a push and ended up losing 4-3. I think it was. If I can bring that up, they made that push. Yeah, it was 4-3 was the final, and they got 2 goals there in the third period, but they fell short by 1 goal. But we'll see what happens here. It's looking like, as of right now, the Oilers are going to push a game 5 going back to Florida, I do believe.
Yep, that would be it. And here's my question for you. Now, with Dallas going back to Boston, and you're going to have Edmonton going back to Florida, which team do you think that is most likely to go ahead and pull out another one and keep this series going?
To me, it'd be Dallas. I don't see the Oilers doing it back and
I don't,
forth.
you read my mind because that's exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking. Remember, I told you before when these series started. First thing I found out was I said the 2 games that they played in the regular season. It's like Edmonton has not beaten Florida any this year. This
Uh,
would be if they win, if they hang on and win tonight. It would be one of those things like, that's a hump we just got over and everything, and they might just lay down for game 5 and just give it up.
no, you talk about the NBA. There had been nobody ever to come back down 3-1.
Yep, that's also.
Well, I don't know about the NHL, but what if they're down 3-0 right now.
Yep.
So if they win tonight, which I think they probably will, they'll be 3-1. What is the odds of Oilers winning that?
And they have to win right now, as of it stands right now. The Oilers are going to have to win 4 straight. I just right now they haven't beat Florida once this year, so I can't see them just jumping up and beating them 4 times.
No, and I don't either. But it's fun watching it right now. Unfold,
It is.
seeing what's going on. And they're like, "Hey, baby, we don't want to get swept. I mean, we can't. I mean, let's take it one game at a time."
We're gonna take the Minnesota route. Oh, show up this game.
Yeah, but it's fun watching watching these games, and I'm and I missed. Earlier we talked earlier in the NHL in the playoffs starting out. There was a lot of games that went to overtime, but I didn't get to watch those because I was watching the NBA playoffs where there was games
Yep.
on going there. So I didn't get to see those exciting games when they was going extra and going overtime period.
Mhm.
So, but I will say Oilers will win this game and Florida will finish it up in Florida.
Yep.
And they would play Tuesday. It's looking like
Yeah,
game
it looks like it'll be by Tuesday.
game 5 Tuesday, June the 18th at 8 p.m.
Hmm.
So um, we'll see what happens there with that. And
Yeah, in
then,
that game, I look for Florida to put it away, and I'm actually on that Dallas bandwagon when they go back to Boston. I just think they'll be the ones to pull out. Now they might lose 4-2, but Dallas gonna get this next game.
all right, I'm going to moving on a little bit from the NHL. Let's mention a little bit about baseball
Okay.
in the MLB. Yesterday, I think it was, the New York Yankees came the first team this year to win 50 games. They are 50 and 22 as of right now, and they are 3 games ahead of Baltimore, which the rest of that division, I don't think, unless they change it around, I don't know if like Boston and them will, they're too far back in that division in the
Right.
American League East.
Now
Um,
the Yankees could just tank the next few games and then you let Baltimore back in there, but I doubt it.
yeah,
But
baseball can swing so fast, so quick and fast within a week because they play so many games.
mhm.
And that's like in the Central, the Guardians are still up leading that division. They've got a 5.5 game lead over the Royals, and it's just shocking to see the Royals doing as well as they are starting out because they're usually at the bottom of the pack.
Yeah, but they're trying to get a new stadium, so
Yeah, there you go. And then over in the West, the Mariners are leading that division 41-31 over the Rangers with a losing record at 33 and 36. So, and then you go to the East, and you got the Phillies leading the East right there at 47 and 23. The Braves are second in that division. They're back 8 games. They're 38 and 30. I don't see the Braves catching the Phillies, losing their key player. And then the Central, the Brewers are leading that division 41-29 over the Cardinals. Uh, they're 6.5 games behind them. And the Dodgers are still leading the West in the National League 43-28. That's the division. And we'll go some scores today. The Braves beat the Tampa Bay Rays uh, 9-2. Right now, in the bottom of the seventh, you got the Yankees playing the Red Sox. Red Sox are winning 5-3. Um, and then you've got in the bottom of the eighth right now, the Mariners are winning 5-1 over the Rangers. They're early in this game here. It's in the top of the third. The Royals playing in LA, playing the Dodgers. It's 0-0. The Pirates are playing the Rockies. It's in the top of the third in Colorado. And then at 10 o'clock tonight, you've got the White Sox playing Arizona. And here's some finals here. The Cubs beat the Cardinals 5-1. The Blue Jays 5-0 over the Guardians. The Angels 4 and the Giants 3. Nationals beat the Marlins 4-0. The Phillies get beat by the Orioles 6-2. So that right there, if the Yankees lose, the Orioles just won today, so they can gain a half a game on them, probably,
Right.
or maybe a full game. And then the Brewers beat the Reds 3-1. And you talk about offense, the Detroit Tigers beat the Astros 13-5.
Oh.
The Mets beat the Padres 5-1. And then there was one game that was postponed today. The Athletics in the Twins, and I'm wondering why that game was postponed. I thought the Twins, I could be wrong. I thought they played in a stadium, unless they got a new stadium or something.
Right.
I mean, played in a dome or a covered stadium. But that is it for right there for baseball as of right now. And let's see, I don't think there's a whole lot news going on in the NFL. You know, you get some stuff going on here and there, and the thing is, they make a lot of big deal out of these mini camps they
Hmm.
got going on now. All the big deal and stuff. So I, I mean, to me, it don't bother me because I mean they're going to be here in a few weeks. Here was it August maybe or July? I
Yeah.
think July. July. That's when they come back for their preseason and the camp and everything. As long as they show up there, that way you get your rhythm and stuff. This early camps, I mean, yeah, I mean it's good. I mean for conditioning and stuff, but I mean no real big deal. I don't think so.
I think they do it all wrong. It seems like to me the way you want to do it. You want a contract extension. You show up the first day of training camp, work your tail off, show that you the best thing going, and on game one you decide not to show up. That way it'd be like leave them scrambling like, oh no, what are we gonna do now? We don't have him. I'm like, yeah, you don't have to pay me.
And I got it right now. There's some headline or some of the headline news that said Higgins signs his franchise tender. So
Oh, he signed it. Okay.
so and the Bengals didn't want that over their head going into the season,
They didn't.
because they let Boyd go.
Which they should have actually traded Higgins and kept Boyd. I think they could have worked something out. Probably. Well, they still got Higgins anyway.
So,
He signed the
so
franchise tag.
if you've already got Boyd, you had to keep Higgins, in my opinion. But and and then I don't think we wasn't on this last episode, and it wasn't. Ed, you mentioned this Trevor Lawrence signing one of the biggest
Oh
deals as a
yeah.
quarterback in Jacksonville. What do you think
Jacksonville
about that?
screwed up. Jacksonville screwed up.
Hey man, the NFL's throwing this money around like it grows on trees.
It is. Trevor
Um,
Lawrence ain't showed me nothing he's done for that money. I think see out the extension. So this would be his going in. This is going to be his fifth year. In 4 years, they went to the playoffs once and got knocked out. No, no, I take that back. They went to the playoffs once, and the game I thought they was gonna get knocked out, they didn't. They beat I can't remember who the heck they beat, but they advanced, but then they got beat the
by the
next round.
Chiefs. The Chiefs, I think, knocked them out one year, didn't they?
Yeah, that was the only year they was in.
So, um, but he got his money, um, and like you said, I don't know if he's going to take them over the top,
He's not.
just like Dak Prescott. He's going to fill stats. He's not going to take them over the top. I had to go there with your
Exactly.
with your Cowboys, but
Putting a line in for Keller.
there you go. Yeah. And he just messaged me, say, "Hey, give a jab at those Cowboys." Nah, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. He didn't. So, but yeah, it's I don't know. I'm ready for football to start. I'm just curious to see what happens and everything else. But you talk about social media and they all got these predictions, early predictions. I seen one today. You're going to laugh at this.
Uh-oh.
Um, and it is. Let me bring this up before I don't get the wrong division. All right, the AFC North. They have Pittsburgh winning that division at a 15-2 record.
I can see that.
Pittsburgh winning at 15-2.
I can see that. Oh, that's what
Flip.
I got to get some news for you.
What's that?
They and this is actually official. This was official. It hasn't happened, but they're in talks. San Fran is in talks with Pittsburgh to trade in Brandon Ayuk.
Are they?
So, if they get Ayuk, yeah, I can see them doing that.
Um, I don't see a team. My opinion this year.
Oh, but then again, I forgot they still have that one X factor, that one weak link, Russell Wilson.
Yeah, and well, here's my thing. Russell Wilson, I don't think will make it through the whole season. How long does Pittsburgh go letting him play before you put Justin Fields in?
That
That
Justin might be hurt too because he's going to be returning punts.
I don't know. I don't know how much they'll do that. I think this is just for talks and stuff. We'll see.
Probably.
Um, but I don't see a team in the NFL this year going 15-2. I just don't. I mean, you didn't have that last year. I don't think. Actually, right
Nah.
now I've got it pulled up right now, and the best record in the NFL last year. Let me see if it was the Ravens at 13-4. Yeah, it was the Ravens at 13-4. So I don't see. I'm gonna tell you. I mean, it's a long season now. You got an extra game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a team this year going 15-2. I mean, that's my opinion. I just it's hard for me to see it. A team going 15-2. And that's even with my Chiefs.
Right.
My Chiefs open up with the Ravens and the Bengals. So that could be two losses right off the bat.
Yeah, those are two tight games right there.
So
However, I see a team going 2-15, and that's them Bears. And guess who's still not signed? Because I haven't heard any news of him getting signed.
who's that?
Caleb Williams still not signed.
Well, what about the Panthers going 2-15?
Yeah. So I guess Chicago got their money run for their money for that 2-15 spot.
I'm trying to find out something. Let's see if this is true. But I'm gonna find out real fast. I had seen, but I never did look it up to verify it. That let's see.
I swear, hockey is one of them games to where you can actually beat on the referee and you're not going to get thrown out. They are currently beating up the goalie right now, and the refs are trying to get in, and they are getting slapped around. It's just like, oh, he just punched me in the face.
So is it still 5-1?
Yep. Oh, they just. Edmonton came to play today. Not only did they plan on winning the game, they trying to win the fights too. It was their goalie that got jumped on, by the way.
Okay. But that what I seen there wasn't that was something different. So it was with the NFL and football and stuff. So, but yeah, they had in that thing I seen they had the Pittsburgh winning that division at a 15-2 record, with the Ravens coming up in second at 10-7, and they had
That's a big drop.
Yeah,
15-2
yeah.
to 10-7.
And then they had, get this, they had the Browns finishing last, only winning 5 games.
I can go with that.
I don't know. That defense is too good.
That defense is too good, but
Yeah,
I don't like Deshaun Watson, so
but
I can get behind that.
so, But that's about it as far as the NFL, and we're wrapping up this hour. It goes pretty fast and quick
It does.
and everything. But as we get ready to finish, anything else you want to mention before we get off?
Oh, there's nothing. Nothing now. Let's think
Oh yeah,
offhand.
you did mention the other day they moved that Tyson fight, didn't they?
That's what we did. We tell that fight is now going to be in November.
So it'll be November, man. We gotta wait that long. I was
Yeah,
hoping.
they still plan on having it. I forgot we didn't talk about that last time we was on air. I don't know when we was talking about. We was talking about it at work, and I said, yeah, the fight's still on. It's just going to be in November. But yeah, I forgot what day. What day they already had the date and everything picked out. But I don't know for next time we on air. But I know it's in November. So Tyson and Jake Paul still going at it.
All right. Well, as we're wrapping it up like we always do, if you don't have nothing else, Cool Beans, we'll mention it to our veterans out there and those that are serving across abroad. If you ever feel like a thought of suicide or hurting yourself or whatever, always talk to somebody, a battle buddy, a friend or a family member, or you can call
Call
98
988
988, and that will bring you to
Veterans Crisis Line.
a veterans crisis line that we got going up right there. It's 1-800-273-8255. Always talk to somebody, call somebody. And like we've always say at the end of each show, each audio and everything, you can always go to your VA medical center to seek help. There'll
Talk
be
to your battle buddy.
That's it. There'll be somebody to greet you there, and they'll get you some help. But if that's you got anything else, Cool Beans, before we get off?
I do not.
All right,
Oh,
that'll be
wait, I do have something. Oh, I did almost forget. And I was told not to make sure I do not forget this. And I want to thank for all those people that got on and watched the live today. And if you didn't get a chance to watch the live, thank you for watching the replay because the replay will be up on YouTube. We'll also put it on Facebook. It's not didn't go live on Facebook, but we will have it on Facebook. We also will have it on X, which is Twitter, but X is what they call it now, X. And we just also got an account on Rumble. So we'll be on rumble.com also. So you can always catch the replay there.
all right. So yeah, we appreciate everyone that tuned in tonight and who watches this later. And I want to mention this. We will not have an audio recording this coming beginning of the
Monday,
week,
yep. We will not.
Monday. We'll go back live Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be becoming a father again Monday, so I'll be out for a couple days. So we won't be able to do the audio recording like we usually do. So
Baby boy, right? Boy.
yep, baby boy, Judah James is going to be his name. But
All righty.
so that's the reason we won't have the audio posted this go around. But we'll be back on live airs next Saturday at 9:00.
Yep. 9 o'clock on Saturday. This new time we moved back. We moved it back a couple hours, but yeah, 9 o'clock on Saturdays.
All right. Thank you all for everything, and for the congratulations with our baby boy coming up.
Yes,
And
congratulations on it.
yep, thank you all.
And it's
And
gonna be a day after Father's Day too.
it is, which
Yep.
that'll fall. His birthday will end up falling on Father's Day some years. So,
Yep.
all right, if that's it for you, Cool Beans.
That's
Everybody out
it.
there, stay safe. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you next Saturday at 9:00.
Yep. Happy Father's Day, everybody.
Yeah, happy Father's Day.